Hello and welcome to We Know Crypto, where the big names from the crypto sphere tell you what you need to know. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Joining us today is one of the big names from Bitcoin. It's Tone Vays in Canada. Let's say hello to our very own John Doe.
What is up, Tom?
And over in the US, it's our BTC VIP, Tone Vays.
Hey guys.
Welcome to the show. Your YouTube channel, Tone, is full of awesome content around trading BTC.
Okay, let's go to the charts.
The weekly candle remains red.
What would you say, just to give us the overview, you know, your key themes are and the most valuable things to think about are for those out there who are trading in this space?
Sure. I mean, to me, trading is just trading. It's not trading a specific asset. You can choose your asset. You can choose your time frame. You can choose the mechanism to trade that asset, right? Like you have, I personally always favored trading NASDAQ stocks on swing basis. So that means I'm holding trades for a few weeks to maybe a month or two at most. And I used options as that trading mechanism. In Bitcoin, some people trade spots, some people trade the futures. I think you have to be really careful with trading with leverage. And the most important part to being a trader is risk and position management. I always try to compare trading to gambling, mostly poker, where you don't know what the next card's going to be, but you could use tools to try and give yourself a bit of an advantage on statistics. You know, just because there is a 55% probability that the next card is going to come out a certain way, same thing with trading. It doesn't mean that it will. So I personally prefer technical analysis for trading. Some people prefer fundamental analysis. Some people prefer to trade the news. So I prefer technical analysis. I like to find chart patterns. That's my favorite way of trading. As far as the way to trade, if you do trade the futures market, I would stay to low leverage. Keep it under 10x leverage. Try not to go beyond that, like maybe 5 to 10x. There's a good reason to use leverage. By using leverage, you could risk less of your Bitcoin with an exchange, because anytime you give away your private key, that takes on a different type of risk. So those you're aware of all your risks, and you have to realize that trading it's more of a marathon. It's not a sprint. And if you do win on a huge short-term trade with a lot of leverage and you basically got lucky, it reinforces the fact that you can get lucky again. And one of these days, it's going to really, really bite you. I mean, I don't know of any long-term successful trader that has not made that mistake early on, and then they have to come back from it. Those are just the general rules. Yeah. And you got to take it easy. And I've had a rough time predicting this market in the last year. It's been a little rough.
Yeah, I like what you mentioned about risk and position sizing. That's one thing people don't get. They use leverage on their whole accounts, but the whole point of that is that you can risk. You don't have to send all your Bitcoin to an exchange or wherever. You can use a small amount, use leverage on that. So worst case scenario, you already know your max loss rather than everything, because that's what I see happening a lot. I'm still surprised when I see those BitMEX liquidations. I'm like, who the hell is risking this much on one trade? It's crazy.
Well, it's also possible that they're hedged, like they have a trade in the opposite direction as well. And it's a strategy that I've used. It's mostly done in the options market, because you could kind of leverage it, where I would take on both sides of the trade. I would buy calls and puts because I know a big event is coming, like an earnings announcement, and I know the stock is going to move 10, 20% in a short period of time, but I don't know which direction. So I can take on calls and puts and let one of them go to zero while the other one makes me a bunch of money. So it is possible there is some kind of a hedge going on there, but yeah, those don't look crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so since you mentioned TA, that's pretty much what I use too, is TA, looking at charts. I think right now is a good time to have a look at Bitcoin, actually.
Yeah, let's take a look. I'm gonna jump on screen share here. So here's my weekly look at the price of Bitcoin, and there are a couple of indicators that I like to use. For those that are wondering, my most important part of trading is always price action. The shape of the candlestick is the one thing that matters absolutely most to me. So number one priority, shape of the candlestick. Number two priority is a pattern. Usually an ascending or a descending triangle. I don't really see any on current charts, but that's what I'll look at second. My third most important part is this MRI indicator. You see a green arrow with a number 1 above it, telling me that on a weekly scale, this might be a potential bottom and a reversal. You also see a couple of moving averages. I still like my moving averages. And these plus signs, those are lucid SARs. I can turn those off. They're not as important for my analysis. And the trouble that I have with a pattern like this is that I'm more of a momentum trader than trying to find reversals. I find that when an asset makes a brand new all-time high, there's a high probability it will keep making new all-time highs. I don't call a stock market top when the stock market makes a new high. Those that do that are wrong 99% of the time because the stock market always makes a new all-time high. So when Bitcoin made a new all-time high back in November of 2021, I was very, very bullish at that time. And anytime, and when Bitcoin made a new low recently, I have to be bearish by default because that's just how I trade. And I will be right way more often than I'm wrong. As far as other metrics, I tend to use the MACD sometimes, but same with the RSI, but those might be better seen on a weekly scale. And on a weekly scale, the MACD is the worst it's ever been in its history, and it's not even close. So the MACD is telling you it's a disaster. The RSI, on the other hand, is in an oversold territory, so it is. It's a momentum indicator that says, hey, we've had enough momentum going down, and historically, this is the area where the price tends to reverse. And another indicator that I really like is CMF. It's a combination of price and volume, and it's also in a pretty bad shape, but it has been trending up. So that means even though the price might be going down, under the hood, there is stealth buying. So I do like the fact that the CMF has been rising while the price is still pretty depressed.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And keep a lookout for more We Know Crypto videos with our guest, Tone Vays.